So here I've displayed some national wetlands inventory data we have you work with and symbolized it by wetlands type. It's a variable that records the kind of wetland according to a classification that's described at the end of the lab. There are all these types here, and our job in this section is to do some assignment based on the type to a reduced set of categories. And so I'll show you in the first step here just how to do a few table manipulations. So if I open the table here, as I've done, I have then all the variables and I've listed them. Now I can resize these columns by grabbing them here on the left and pulling across. I'll click back in and show the data here at its full size. Now I can select variables, or I'm sorry, select rows, items, instances by clicking here in these selection boxes on the left-hand side, and I can sort by columns by clicking at the label at the top. That's a right click and then sort ascending. So this is by their area, their calculated area from smallest to largest if I sort ascending, and from largest to smallest if I sort descending. And you can see when I click on a click on a row, the associated polygon becomes displayed in the selection color. So if the row is selected and you see then the associated feature in the layer is selected, I can clear selected features by left clicking here on this little clear selection icon up in the feature layer group. I can also select several by left clicking and holding the shift key, and then all the intervening ones are selected. So here I'm going to hold the shift key down, and from wherever my last click was, if I hold the shift key, it clicks. And with various combinations depending upon the keyboard and operating system, I can hold, in this case, the Apple or Command key on my Apple, and I think it's the same thing, a Control key on the PC keyboards to select several. Again, clearing the selection. So one of the things I want to show you how to do is to add a field, and I can click on this icon here on the top of the table display and add a field. And it allows me then to add fields with a set of parameters or characteristics. Now I have a field name here. I'm going to give this size, and then I have to identify the kind of field I want. In this case, if I click on this data type, I want to make it text. And there are other things I can add showing whether I want to highlight it or not or display. In this case, I just want to change the size. Now I have to remember to save the field once I'm done. So here I've entered a new field that's a numeric that's 10 long and it's set to be visible. And so I have to make sure that I click on this save icon up at the top in the field group. I could also add additional fields. So I'll go ahead and click the save, and it adds the fields. And if we look back then at the table, we can see then that those fields have been added, including this one I didn't want. So I have a size field that I wanted, and then there was that second one I clicked. And so I can go ahead and highlight that field and then delete a field if I add any extra ones. And it asks me, do I want to delete them? And yes, it does. Now, I could automatically manually select by clicking and then right click in this, left click in this size field and a category here, so I can name it as I would like. I can manually edit each of these if I want. And we'll show you then how to do select and edit later on in another video.